Parts of the spinal cord, starting with the white matter.
Alright, so the white matter is here.
Then the gray matter. Then the ventral horn.
That one.
The fat one
The dorsal horn.
is the long ones.
The lateral horn.
Little bumps on
Little bumps.
the side.
Little bumps on the side.
The gray commissure.
The gray commissure is this area.
The central canal.
Is this black hole.
The dorsal root.
Is this.
The dorsal root ganglion.
Is this.
The ventral root.
Is here.
The
All the way up.
And all the way up.
denticulate ligament.
Is right here. Medially.
The arachnoid layer.
Is what looks like gray matter, but
Gray
actually
matter.
isn't.
The dura matter.
Is blue.
Pia matter. And then the spinal nerve.
Is this.
You know what? Brainstem.
Is this area right here.
Okay. The dicephalon.
It was this area.
Okay.
And it includes
The
the
thalamus.
thalamus and the
and
hypothalamus. Okay.
Then the cerebrum.
Or the
Also known as the
cerebral cortex.
Yeah. Running through the outside covering.
Cerebellum.
Cerebellum.
This cute little thing back here
Super
on
cute.
both sides.
Okay. Medulla
from this one.
oblongata.
The cerebellum.
This is the cerebellum posteriorly.
Okay.
And then the medulla oblongata is this area right here in the brain stem.
Oh.
Okay.
It's just
Pons. Right there. Longitudinal fissure.
it's the gap between the two hemispheres right here. Obviously not that large normally, but
The gyrus.
Or the
That's the ridges.
it's the raised areas.
And then the sulcus.
The sulcus are the grooves.
Okay. The corpus callosum.
It's this
Right
area
there.
that collects the two, or not, connects the
Connects
two
the two.
hemispheres.
The midbrain.
The midbrain. Oh, it's this thing. This is the midbrain right here.
That's
It looks
the
like number
midbrain.
31 on the model.
Number 31.
Okay.
And then the hypothalamus.
The hypothalamus
21, I think.
is 21, this area right here. It's below the thalamus.
Then the pituitary gland.
Is this cute little thing?
The pyramids of the medulla. It's going to be the
Um,
back.
You can see them here.
Okay. Then the thalamus.
Is above the hypothalamus, which is
Lateral ventricle.
I don't know. Is this area right here? Just below the corpus callosum.
The third ventricle.
Is this area
Is that
right
whole
here?
area?
Yeah, it's this whole area.
Fourth ventricle. What's in the
Is between the
Space.
cerebellum and the brainstem.
The gray matter.
Is on the outer portion.
The
of
white
brain.
matter?
Is deeper into the matter of the brain.
And then the penal body.
Penal body.
Oh, it was the posterior one back here. It was 23.
Okay.
Parts of the neuron model. So the cell body is this whole thing right here.
Then the axon
And
helix.
the axon hillock is
Axon helix. The nucleus.
with the nucleolus.
The smooth ER.
Is this it's
Gray.
the blue,
Blue. Gray blue.
gray blue.
Missile bodies.
Are the little red dots on the rough ER.
Presynaptic axon terminal.
Are these orange
Orange.
protrusions.
The axon.
The axon is this whole thing.
The nucleus of the Schwann cell. Then the neurolemma.
Is the area outside of it.
The nodes of Ranvier. Right there. The mitochondrion.
Are the red bodies inside of the axon.
The myelin sheath.
Is around the whole outside of the axon.
The endonorium.
The gray thing at the end.
Okay, this thing.
The dendrite.
Is
The gray.
the gray.
Lysomes.
Are the yellow dots inside of the cell body.
Neurofibrils.
Are the red striations in the axon hillock.
And then the Golgi apparatus.
Is the red one inside of the cell body.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're starting with the extrinsic muscles of the eyeball. So this is the superior rectus muscle, and then the inferior rectus muscle on the bottom, the medial rectus muscle, the lateral rectus muscle, and then the superior oblique right here, and then the inferior oblique on the bottom that's cut on the model. Alright, and then the sclera. The sclera is on the white part, so you can see it both from there and in here. And then moving inwards, or outwards, sorry. The cornea is this part right here. And then the canal schlemm is on either side, but it's just a dot right near the lens. Or the cornea, sorry. Alright, and the choroid is the blue layer just beneath the sclera. Alright, and the ciliary processes are the purple stripes on the inside.
You don't need to know the muscle.
Okay. The ora serrata is this blue part right here, which has the ciliary processes in it. And then the iris is the colored portion just beneath the cornea. And the pupil is the opening right here. The retina is the colored portion on the inside. This is all the retina. The central fovea is this reddish orange dot, which has the macula lutea around it. And then the optic disc, which has the blind spot on it, is back here where the optic nerve is. And then the lens is this portion right here. And then the vitreous chamber is when you close it, that's the vitreous chamber, and it has vitreous humor in it. So it's basically the posterior segment that's behind the lens is all the vitreous chamber. Alright, and that's it. Structures of the ear. So we're starting with the one that's the cross section of the cochlea. So we're starting with the scala vestibuli, which is up here, this space right here. Scala tympani, which is here. The cochlear duct, which is here. This organ of Corti, or the spiral organ, is right here. And within that is the tectoral membrane, which is right here. Okay, this is the auricle, which is the outer portion of the ear. The skin line external auditory canal, which is here. The tympanic membrane, which is here. And the middle ear, I know, I've disrupted it. Don't worry. And the middle ear is this portion right here with all the bones.
Okay.
Auditory tube.
Okay, the auditory tube is here. The auditory ossicles include the malleus, which is attached to the tympanic membrane, the incus, which is attached to
the malleus.
To the malleus, and then the stapes, which is attached to the inner ear. Looks like a stirrup. Okay, and then the oval window is on the bottom of the cochlea, right there. And then the round window is here. And this is the inner ear in its entirety. And
Show that one.
it's this one as well with the stapes excluded. And the utricle is the top portion right here. And then the saccule is down here. The semicircular canal is all three of these. And then the ampulla, there's three. There's one there, and then one there. They're at the bottom of the semicircular canals. And then the cochlea is the shell-looking part right here. All right, and that's done. Okay. Cranial nerve 1 is the olfactory nerve, which is sensory for smell. Cranial nerve 2 is the optic nerve, which is sensory for vision. Cranial nerve 3 is the oculomotor, and it's motor for the movement of eyeball. Cranial nerve 4 is the trochlear nerve, and it's motor for the movement of eyeball. And the cranial nerve number 5 is the trigeminal. The trigeminal is both sensory and motor, but mostly it's the muscle of mastication. Cranial number 6 is abducens, which is motor for the movement of the eyeball. Cranial nerve 7 is the facial nerve for both motor and sensory. The anterior 2/3 control the tongue and muscle of facial expression. Cranial nerve number 8 is the vestibulocochlear, which is sensory for hearing and balance. Cranial nerve number 9 is the glossopharyngeal, which is both sensory and motor for the gag reflex. Cranial nerve number 10 is vagus, and it's both sensory and motor for heart rate and breathing mostly. And then cranial nerve number 11 is accessory, and it's motor for the sternocleidomastoid muscle. And then cranial number 12 is the hypoglossal muscle, which is motor for the tongue.